probably start first. So I'm Jacky. I manage the strategy and shareholder relationships for solarisBank, and I suppose I should start by thanking Norbert for a great event, and also Plug and Play for having us, and Nexitis as well for the venue. So I'm here, I think, partly because solarisBank is interested in looking into Asia as a market. I mean, we're live in Europe, but we're definitely considering Asia as the next step. I think it's only natural because we have a very strong Japanese investor, SBI Group, who are across the road, and we think that definitely the next step would be Asia. So in my presentation today, I'm really sorry I lost my voice, but I came in at a really bad flu time in Tokyo. But I will talk to you about solarisBank's banking as a platform for contextual finance. Then I will also give you a brief history of solarisBank, the problem that we're solving, and further details on the product lines that we currently have, and also on some of the partner names, our clients, at the end. So we believe contextual banking will be the way that banking will be done in the future. What it means is that, you know, each of us would wake up in the morning not wanting to go to a bank, but actually you would think of wanting that car or that house or transferring money to your families whilst you work overseas. So the challenge that we face today to bring this into reality is the fact that there are fintechs that find it really difficult to collaborate with incumbent banks to offer financial services. There are big techs that it's not in their area of expertise in order to offer financial services. Banks have legacy issues, as you may all be aware of it, and is incompatible with the digital advancement of the future. Corporates as well is not in their area of expertise, even if they have the ecosystem. So solarisBank answers that problem via our easy-to-connect APIs. We adopt a very neutral B2B2X approach, so we never touch the end customer. So we do that with speed and flexibility in mind. That's just a very quick summary of our investors. We have been very lucky with almost 100 million euro funding. We have today 50 partners live on our platform. We have passported financial services to 8 European Economic Area countries, and currently we are around about 220 people all working in Berlin. So that is a history of solarisBank, the initial idea, what I spoke to you about, the problem that fintechs find to collaborate with incumbent banks to offer financial services was conceived in early 2015. Within 9 months we received our European banking license. We're based out of Germany, of course, but you can passport all over the EEA, and as of today we have around about 50 partners live. We call our clients partners because we are B2B2X, and of course we have recently closed our Series B fundraising round. This is what I really like this slide quite a lot, because it shows the 5 product lines that we have. There are 6 over there, but digital banking and cards surrounding account openings, transactions. Of course, you connect it normally with a Visa debit card, or we're also a member of the MasterCard scheme. And so that's under one unit, and you can of course choose to use either one of them, or just accounts, not cards. So all of our product lines are built in a modular way. I want to spend a bit of time perhaps talking about KYC. Through my meetings here in Japan, it has been very apparent that the government has recently changed the regulation to allow for digital KYC. We have been able in Germany to identify an individual person, a human being, within 10 minutes, and also corporations, depending of course on the level of difficulties, within 2 hours to open an account, for example. Payments, we do international payments. Currently we have partners in the People's Republic who would we do international transfers Chinese merchants selling on Amazon Europe. That's one example in our payments product. In the lending sphere, we have consumer lending and SME lending, and also Blockchain Factory. I know there are lots of uses of the blockchain technology, but at the moment we have fiat and crypto conversion. We connect via API to third-party service providers, core banking system, access to account, card issue, and so on and so forth. Also via API to our partners, so that's the second B. And the end customer and businesses are purely owned by the banks, the corporates, the big techs, or the fintechs. I will give later on examples of who they are. That's predominantly, that's just recapitulating what I said earlier in further details, our 5 product lines, and of course really interesting on how we can bring the KYC platform, for example, to Japan. Again, this is our service, is built in a modular way. You can add on, you can remove products that you no longer need, and that reduces complexity, increases your scalability and the possibilities that you have in partnering with solarisBank. This slide recapitulates what I've said earlier on. There's plug and play there. It wasn't intentional that it was mentioned. Yeah, so marketing sent me this slide and I thought, that was kind of cool. Neutrality, B2B2X, we never touch your end customer. We do it with speed and flexibility, a unique connection, modern tech stack with a RESTful API. Don't ask me what they are, I'm not a techie, but those are our partners. I will pick maybe a couple of them to tell you what did we do with them. MoneyU is a daughter company of ABN AMRO, one of our investors, and a Series B funding round, and they wanted to offer a consumer loan, unsecured consumer loan to individual persons, consumer lending, and in Germany. And instead of using their banking license, touching their legacy core banking systems and convoluted processes, they just partner with solarisBank to offer that in Germany. So next one would be interesting. We talked about SkyE earlier, the Chinese merchants selling on Amazon Europe, and we collect the money, and SkyE basically disperses the money back to the merchants based in the People's Republic. Albaraka and Insha. Albaraka is a Turkish bank. They would like to target the Turkish diaspora living in Germany. There are plenty of kebab shops there, but what we basically do with them is that instead of them applying for a European banking license, which can be cumbersome, time-consuming and expensive, they partner with solarisBank, and together we build Insha, which is basically a digital banking product from solarisBank, so white-labeled to Albaraka. Tomorrow is the same digital banking. They basically tackle the green millennials that offers sustainable cards and so on and so forth. We can definitely talk further later on if you have any other questions for further partners. So that is our European expansion. We can expand all over Europe, and of course we're thinking with SBI Group being one of our investors in our Series A and Series B round to definitely tackle Asia as the next continent. That's us in Berlin. 50% of our companies are techies. I'm definitely not one of them. But we have a unique mix of experts, entrepreneurs, and legal experts and bankers as well. I'm there on the brown far. There are 37 nationalities working together, so, and me not being German. That's our board. I report to Roland. Hopefully one of them would show up next month, so I'll try to persuade them. I'm sure they will. Some videos, but yeah. Thank you so much for your attention. Happy to take any questions.
I've got one question. Well, is it okay? Your throat is okay?
My throat is fine. Yes. Go ahead.
All right. So plug-and-play banking. So you've got a license in Germany as a bank, right?
Yeah.
So I might assume that if I've got a operation in somewhere like Cayman, Jersey, whatever, then if I use your service, then I could be like theoretically offering banking service without a license by using the service. Is it a fair assessment, or
I think the Cayman connotation is not
Oh,
the
not
best.
so Cayman is a
connotation,
bit different. It's in
but yes,
not EEA, right? Yeah.
generally any businesses can offer, contracting with solarisBank to offer digital banking, such as Tomorrow, Albarca, Insha, and Contest, for example. You can be your own neobank as solarisBank. So N26, for example, would not need to apply for a banking license. You would just use us, and unfortunately, of course, we're established after N26.
Thanks.
Hopefully that answers.
Yeah, yeah.
And, yeah, go ahead.
What are some of your services, like local in Japan, for example, and deposit yen, for example, I want to use your platform to facilitate my services in Japan. Is there any offerings?
At the moment, no, we're not operational in Japan. Yeah.
And I see that you have like partnered with SBI. What is that?
So SBI invested in us through our Series A funding round, in our Series B funding round, but we're thinking of areas of collaboration. We do business with most of our shareholders. We have Visa debit card scheme. We do business with Avato. We do business with ABN AMRO, MoneyU, and of course we're still in the brainstorm mode with BBVA and SBI. Of course, the apparent strengths in the continents. So, really good question. I hope that I could throw some light, but at the moment it's fiat to crypto conversion. So we partner with Börse Stuttgart, I think the third largest stock exchange in Germany. I haven't heard of them before, but apparently they are. So we do partner with them, and you can use an app called Bison, and you basically could buy and sell cryptocurrency with solarisBank.
So when you say you're planning to expand into Asia, are you looking at getting banking licenses in some Asian countries as well to try to expand your service in that way, so that you could then bring maybe European banks over to Asia in a lighter way? Or are you looking more at bringing Asian companies into the European market?
We can already do the second one, the latter one we can already do. So like the gentleman asked, and we can already do that. So there are Turkish banks, Albarca, going to Germany with Insha, so we can already do that. So the first bit to your question is a bit harder, so that we have been wrestling for a year, applying for a banking license. The financial, a lot of the financial world are still very protected. So even in financial hubs such as Singapore, Hong Kong, it's still quite difficult to get a banking license. So the business case has to be very, very concrete. And of course, we're still in the stage of finalizing that. But if you look at our product lines, you can basically, like what I said earlier, it's modular, so you can unplug the KYC platform, for example. It can be an interesting first use case that do not require a banking license. So that is a potential route as well. So yes, banking license, difficult to get. Asia, every single country, not unified. So we will consider applying for a banking license where feasible, and we will consider that perhaps down the road when the business scales. The gentleman at the back did raise his hand.
Do you have any plan to expand your products, particularly like investment products like stocks and fixed income?
Yes, so we thought about that for a period of time, and we already have a full German banking license. So there are 14 financial services that you can have, securities and so on and so forth, mortgages. But at the moment, we think the actually there are 6 boxes there, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But digital banking cards are generally together. So we think that these 5 product lines are kind of the MVP, or slightly beyond MVP, to ensure that banking as a platform or contextual banking would evolve in the future. So we focus on that first, we reach revenue targets, and then we will think on the basis of a business case whether it makes sense to go into lending, to go into securities, or to go into, blockchain is a bit of a security, a version of financial instrument, and so yeah, we're constantly expanding our product lines, but our current focus are those 5, 6. Any further questions? If not, come up. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, last question. As it's very close to my heart, being German myself. Speaking about the regulatory reporting in the BaFin, how do you address it? And how do you, I mean, as well as secure the resources? Do you use as well technology to address this, to limit the resources?
So BaFin is the German FSA. Talking to any regulators worldwide is a bit difficult. To show them our business model, that's what it is quite difficult. So I would say that we comply with the BaFin requirements fully, but of course we try to persuade them to understand our business model, to understand banking as a service, banking as a platform, and moving away from, you know, doing audits that are actually 2-3 months, half-year old. You know, there are always Section 44 audits, for example, that are coming, and, you know, all of the information provided are not necessarily real-time. It doesn't have to always be real-time, but we try to lobby BaFin to move towards a much more of a technologically driven approach rather than KPMG, PwC, or whoever with their pages of, you know, pages of report that are endless. But we still do them. So still paper-based as of today, and hopefully we comply with all BaFin requirements. So come up to me and let's continue the conversation. Thanks a lot.